Welcome to Photography 101. Today we're going to learn how to take our files off of our memory cards and get them onto our computer, how to make folders and organize them, and finally we're going to get introduced to Adobe Bridge and culling today. So the first thing you're going to do after you put your card in the slot or your card reader or transfer them through Wi-Fi is to double click on the main folder that gets loaded there. And inside that folder you're going to find your files. My camera card has DCIM. Yours might say something different based on whether you are Sony or Nikon. I just double click, that reveals what's inside there. And I know that I want the first folder. There's a parrot in there I'm going to use for some reference photos for a character illustration I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and click and hold on this folder. Sometimes I'm on a scrolly pad and I'm not as good on the scrolly pad, so I'm still trying to figure out where in the heck to click on the scrolly pad to actually grab the folder, because I usually work with a mouse. So it's the left side of the scrolly pad, it looks like, possibly. There we go. So the left side of your scrolly pad, if you have a laptop, I'm still learning how to use it, is where you can click and hold and drag your folder. If you have a mouse, it's super easy. You just take and click and hold and drag. I'm challenging myself to use a scrolly pad. I prefer a mouse, but I haven't found a mouse that I like to work with my laptop yet. As you can see down at the bottom, it tells me I have 1.24 gigabytes of memory in that folder that's loading out of a 3.56 gigabyte card, and it's telling me how many photos are loading right now. I hope you're enjoying the first couple weeks of photography and going out and shooting. I think it's really super fun when you get to load all your files and look at them big and then sort through them and decide which ones you might like to turn into fine art. Or eventually, if you start getting some commission work, which ones you'll be using to give to your customer to sort through. And you are going, even professional photographers take a lot of photos. You're not going to give them all of the photos. You'll give them your best ones to select from that are going to represent you. You might have some where you won't lock on focus, or some that you like the composition better than others. All right, there we go. So now I have my files onto my desktop. You can go up into the Finder file and you can actually rename your folder that way. There's several ways to name your folder. So you can go into rename and you can come in here and you can also rename it this way. Turn it light blue, and I'm going to call this Parrot Series, even though there's other photos on here. The main reason I want this folder is for the parrot. I don't really have any other photos that I'll be using for reference or for fine art. And this was shot in 2017, and this is my brother-in-law, this parrot. Okay, so once I've named it, now I'm a little organized. It's good to have the date, the year, what it's called. So eventually, if you go back to look for things, the computer will find things alphabetical. It also finds things by date. It's pretty powerful with the metadata. And we'll discover that as we progress through the class. The next thing you're going to do, and excuse me again if it takes me a while to hold on to this, I'm still getting used to my scrolly pad on my laptop. I like my laptop. I can move around in the house and work in different places. I'm not stuck at my desktop. So I really like the laptop, and I'm using that more, but I'm not as proficient with this scrolly pad yet. So then I'm going to go ahead and take this, drag it, and drop it onto the bridge icon on your dock. This is called a dock down here with all your applications. And let's try that again. Drag it down here and put it right on top of your Adobe Bridge. And once it might take you a couple times to get it onto that folder, and that's okay. You'll get more proficient as you go along. And you're going to see this window come up. Now, if you don't see a window similar to mine, I'd like you to go into Windows, Workspace, and make sure that you've reset it to the Essential Standard Workspace, and then you can follow along with me in the tutorials. All right, so once we see all these panels, the cool thing is we can go start looking at our images large. And I'm going to scroll down. I don't really care about all these photos. I will show you, we went on a hike in San Diego, the highest peak in San Diego that overlooks the city. If I click on the photo and I hit the space bar, you're going to see it big. Now, when we went here, I was working around family members, so I didn't really have the lighting that I would have liked. But what drew me to this photo was this lovely curvy line that takes you around the mountain when we got up to that section. So we're talking about line and this week. Now, had we had more time and I didn't have to work around family, I probably would have planned to go earlier in the day. It was really foggy out, so not the best conditions to get all the beautiful detail in the foliage on the mountain. All right, so that's not really what I'm looking for today, though. I'm not working on the mountain right now. Here's that lovely curly swirly line that's really appealing in fine art photos. I'm going to go ahead, right here is a little scrolly thing so I can scroll down. What I'm really looking for today is the parrot. Now the parrot is what I'm going to be using for reference photos. So I'm going to hit my space bar again, and now I can see him large. And you can see not all the photos, I locked focus on the wrong place here. So here we are, nice sharp. I've locked focus on the eye. Everything's nice and in focus. I am working with a 2.8, so you see that the beak went a little bit soft. I really like this angle, so I'm going to hit Command 5 on my board. You'll see on the lower left-hand side, you'll see 5 stars. And what we're doing is we're creating a best collection. I don't feel like even though this one's larger, I might use this for fine art and play with the background, so maybe I will put that in a best collection. And do I like that one or do I like that one better? So I like this one where I see a little bit more of the chest, so I'm going to hit Command 5. I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to hit Command 1 and throw that out of my best collection. And then I like this angle when you are illustrating. If you're a game designer, you're going to need different angles of your character to be able to animate them. So I don't have this angle, so I am going to go ahead and pick that one. I'm going to go ahead and choose that one. I love the shape of the beak on that. I like how he's coming out from the side there, so I might use that for fine art and play around with the background. And you see the head slightly tilted. You see how it's flatter there? I actually like the flatter look, so I'm going to go back, go to Command 1, throw it out of my collection. Ooh, I like that one. That's going to be a great parrot to sit on my pirate's shoulder, so I like that whole angle. Do I like that composition or that composition? I like this one because I've got a little bit more negative space. And I don't like the angle of how he's tilted a little, so I'm going to pull that one out. I'll probably pick that one because it's just a little different pose. You see how the light changed, the exposure actually switched a little bit because I moved around on him. Sometimes when you move around a subject, the light will change based on the direction of the light. So you may have to change your exposures. Again, I'm hitting Command 5 on these, and I got out of focus on that one. I probably pushed the button too soon and I didn't lock focus. And that's going to happen even with professional photographers. You're going to get some bad shots that I don't really like this angle, but I was trying to work all the different angles, and I don't care for that one either. Isn't his beak super cool? I like that one. He seems a little animated, like he might be talking. And if you see the tuft of his feathers are kind of raised a little bit. I like this one for the detail of the feathers, so when I'm illustrating it, it might help me to work with the shapes a little bit. Again, I lost focus again. Oh, I like that one. He seems like he's talking, or he might have a seed in his mouth. And you do need, if you're doing character development and game design, you need a front and you need a left and a right. And then, of course, if you can get him in action. I didn't get any flight ones because he attacks and I was too scared to tell them to take him out of the cage. Alrighty, so that's the series that I want to work on today. If you come over to the left-hand side, if your filter is not activated, these little panels will activate different sections. I'm just going to activate the filter section because I want to review which ones I picked out. I had 108 photos, if you see here. So this, if I come back here, this is the no rating. This is all of the photos. If I click off of that, this is the 3 I dumped out of my best collection. And if I come into my 5 stars, these are the 15 that I really want to work with and put into my best collection. Now, in order to move those into a folder, again, there's a variety of different ways to pop it into the folder. I like to show beginning students more practical visuals to understand it if you forget where to actually go to save it on the menu bar. So I'm going to hit Command A. That selected all of the images. I'm going to go, if you see this says Adobe Bridge is activated, I'm actually going to go click on the desktop to activate the desktop and you'll see the Finder. And I'm going to make a new folder. And I'm going to drag this over. I'm going to activate this to where it turns light blue. Once it turns light blue, you can change the name of it. And I'm going to go put Parrot Reference Photos. And I am going to name it 2017 in case I need to go back. And it's Ken and Judy's Parrot. All right. Now what you're going to do, these are all selected. And you're going to actually click on one. And that should grab all of them. And then you're going to drag it all the way up and drop it on that folder. Make sure you're in the folder or everything will go onto the desktop. And if you dragged it properly, you can click out of Adobe Bridge and you can see that all of my images went in here. Now, if you see mine are CR2 images, the reason I shot raw for this series is because I was working on fine art. I had the parrot and I have some florals in the other section that possibly I might turn into some large prints. First couple weeks you're working in JPEG. And we'll talk more about JPEG and RAW after that. Okay, so that's all we're going to do with Adobe Bridge today. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. If you have any questions or anything's unclear or I went too fast, just go ahead and email me and I'll do a revision on the video. Alrighty, have fun.